So the most prominent law that I think was just passed was the California's pay transparency law. Now, interestingly enough, this is one where there is a significant requirements that are going in place very, very quickly, and it impacts organizations. And this is the interesting thing: organizations in California that employ more than 15 people, right? Fairly small, and organizations that are outside of California that employ more than 100, but only need to have one California employee. So this can be a little interesting for most every organization, but the requirements are, it's kind of twofold. Reporting. So there's historically been for a lot of companies that are of size, an EEOC report, and it's the Equal Employment Opportunity group, right? Like it federal requirement, right? And so they were changing some of the that commission's requirements on reporting and making it that much more complex, where they're going to focus more heightened attention at the job level view, with the need to dig in a little bit further on race, gender, and ethnicity. And then there is an additional component that is focused on providing pay ranges. And that's the part that starting January 1, every job posting has to have a pay range. So for those companies that, or for any organization, it's essentially anyone who employs people, right? So it does not give any sort of like commercial or non-commercial sort of status. If you employ somebody, regardless of what you are, and you have more than 15, this is your requirement, right? So the interesting thing is, as at least I think a lot of people would imagine, organizations that you have like 16 people, you might not have pay ranges. You might just have paid them when you brought somebody on board, whatever you could either afford or they were willing to accept. What is necessary now is that pay structure has to be put in place. And so it impacts sales indirectly, if you will, but it is something that you in terms of like order of employees, more likely than not, if you're an organization with more than a dozen people, you probably have a salesperson or two. It is something that is very valuable to gain a grasp into, taking the time to, now since structure is needed, dig into what is your philosophy. Like, what is your compensation philosophy as an organization? Without structure, there's nothing to compare to, right? You need standards so that you can gauge what is fair and what is not fair. Whether you're focused on internal equity, whether you're focused on market competitiveness, that you have a very specific intention with the way in which you pay people, right? You will need to make a decision on what exactly do we stand for, and as well as introduce some structure.